Is the New Orleans Saints winning streak in serious jeopardy just hours before the biggest rivalry game of the season? You won't believe the massive roster shakeup that just went down in the Big Easy. But before we dive into this breaking news, I want to hear from the best fans in the world. Comment the city you are watching from right now. Also, if you bleed black and gold, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a single update about our Saints. We are building the strongest community here, and your support is what keeps us going. Now, let's get into the heart of the matter, because the news coming out of the facility is absolutely wild. The New Orleans Saints are heading into their final showdown of the season against the Atlanta Falcons, and while the playoffs might be out of reach, the pride of the city is on the line. We are currently riding a 4-game winning streak, the kind of momentum that can define a team's culture for the next year. But just as things were looking stable, the front office and coaching staff dropped a bombshell on Saturday afternoon. The team has officially elevated quarterback Jake Haener from the practice squad to the active roster. Now, why is this a big deal? Usually, a practice squad elevation for a third-string QB wouldn't turn heads. But when you look at the context of the injury report this week, it starts to look like a full-blown emergency. Tyler Shove, who has been our grit and grind starter, was listed with a hip injury. Although he practiced, any hip issue for a quarterback is a ticking time bomb for mobility and power. But wait, it gets even deeper. Spencer Rattler, the rookie who many fans want to see more of, has been dealing with a right finger injury on his throwing hand and didn't practice all week. This effectively left the Saints with one healthy arm on the active roster until this very moment. Jake Haener, the man who was fighting for the starting job all summer, is back in the mix. Historically, this rivalry with the Falcons is one of the most storied in the NFL. We are talking about decades of bad blood, and even when both teams are struggling, these games are played like the Super Bowl. Bringing in Haener now suggests that the coaching staff is terrified of a mid-game disaster where they lose both Shove and Rattler. It is a tactical insurance policy that screams desperation and preparation all at once.
The deep analysis of these roster moves reveals a much more complex situation than a simple injury backup plan. By elevating not just Jake Haener, but also running back Nyheim Miller-Hines and signing tight end Trayton Welch to the active roster, the Saints are signaling a complete shift in their Week 18 strategy. Let's talk about the financial and developmental implications here. Jake Haener was a high-priority draft pick who many thought would be the heir apparent to the veteran leadership in New Orleans. However, his 2024 campaign has been spent mostly in the shadows on the practice squad. This elevation is a massive opportunity for him to prove he belongs on the 53-man roster for 2025. If Shao's hip flares up, or if the game gets out of hand, we might actually see Haener take snaps against our fiercest rivals. This isn't just a game. It's an audition for the future of the New Orleans Saints quarterback room. Rumors are already swirling that the front office is looking to overhaul the position in the upcoming draft or free agency, and Haener knows his time to impress is running out. Furthermore, the inclusion of Miller-Hines suggests the Saints want to exploit the Falcons' special teams and backfield coverage. This is a chess match being played by Darren Rizzi and Mickey Loomis. They are looking at the data and seeing that Atlanta is vulnerable to the exact type of hybrid playmaking these elevated players provide. But the real story remains the health of the quarterbacks. If Rattler couldn't even practice for 3 straight days, his finger injury might be more severe than the team is letting on. This puts immense pressure on Tyler Shao to stay upright. If the Falcons' pass rush gets home early, the Saints' 4-game winning streak could end in a nightmare scenario where a practice squad quarterback has to save the day. The stakes couldn't be higher for the pride of New Orleans. We need to close this season with a statement win to prove that the culture in this locker room is still elite. What do you think about these moves? Is Jake Haener the secret weapon we need, or is this a sign of a failing depth chart? Make sure to subscribe and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when the final score drops. Who dat? Who dat?